Hi, beautiful YouTube family. I am Melody, and together as a team, we will expand the world of self-healers through self-exploration and ultimately reach the goal of self-love. Hi there, beautiful family. So I have taken a little break from making these videos, and the reason is shadow work. I've been doing a lot of shadow work. I've been going inward a lot with everything that's going on outside in the world. It has given me the opportunity to go inward into what I'm feeling and facing and having a lot of stuff surface up, which is a beautiful thing. It can be a little scary, but I've given myself the time and the space to do shadow work. Now, if you're asking, what the heck is shadow work? Then this is the video for you. Shadow work. So shadow work is bringing light to those memories that we don't like to face. We all have those memories from the past of you know, and that gives us that yucky feeling, that whether it's sadness, it's anger, it just brings out this I don't want to think about this feeling. And because we don't want to think about that time in our lives, we throw it into the dark, into the darkness, into the shadow. So those are our shadows. Throughout our lives, we have accumulated shadows, and now is the time to face those shadows. Now is the perfect time to do shadow work. So I see life as, here goes another metaphor, but I see life as us swimming out in the ocean. We're out in water, but throughout our lives, we have accumulated these shadows, right? And in these shadows in this metaphor are rocks attached to us. Now, these rocks can be released so we can move freely and we can free ourselves, but we must dive deep into these waters to retrieve that rock, to untie that rock, and allow us to be free. Now, we release ourselves from these shadows with shadow work. Shadow work is something not everybody enjoys. It can be a little daunting. It can be very much uncomfortable, because you do sometimes relive these events, these emotions, and it can be a little rough. So that being said, take your time, be gentle, and don't be afraid to seek a professional if need be. Now, these are just my experiences, my examples. I am not a professional, so keep that in mind. But I have been able to do quantum leaps in my healing journey and truly releasing myself from these rocks that are attached to me. So, when the universe presents a memory Now, and by presenting a memory, it just pops up into our head. It's not anything anything fancy or anything. It just pops up into your head and we remember, oh crap, remember that time. It's that. So that is the way the universe presents a shadow. Now, there is something in that shadow. I promise you, there is something in that shadow that needs to be learned. There is a hidden gem in there that will help us evolve, that will help us grow. So we have to face those shadows if we want that growth, if we want that truth. Because ultimately we are looking for the truth. Now, sometimes we think these shadows are bad, and that's because we're not seeing it for what it is. We told ourselves a certain situation went down a certain way. Sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not, but ultimately it will get you to your truth, to your true authentic self. Because again, that is the goal. Can we strip away all the false stories, all the lies we've told ourselves? Can we strip all of that away? And part of that is doing shadow work, but can we strip that away to become our true authentic self? So I have one beautiful, beautiful tip for you for doing shadow work, and it has been a game changer for me. Shadow work used to take days for me to go through one memory. Just one memory, I would be crying for days. Now, this tip has given me a little bit of structure, and by a little bit, I mean a hell of a lot of structure, so that way I can quickly hit the crucial points that I need to get to that truth, to get to that knowledge that's in that memory, in that shadow. All right, so that tip, that game changer is Ho'oponopono. That is the Hawaiian forgiveness ritual. And it has just changed shadow work for me completely. It has allowed me to do quantum leaps in my healing journey. There are 4 parts to Ho'oponopono, and feel free to research the crap out of this. It's not anything I invented. Again, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. All the wonderful information is out there. We just need to search for it. So, Ho'oponopono, 4 parts. And these are the only 4 things you need to remember, and it will provide a beautiful structure to your shadow work. So, first part is, I am sorry. So when doing shadow work with this Ho'oponopono technique, I tell myself, Melody, I am sorry. And my brain will automatically kind of complete that sentence, and it'll just kind of fill in the blank. So whatever the memory is, Melody, I'm sorry that you didn't believe in yourself. And sometimes it's to the other person. If there's another party involved, Melody, I am so sorry that you treated this person that way. I'm so sorry so-and-so for treating you that way. Your brain, your mind will take over and let it all out. Do not hold back when you are doing shadow work, because you want to explore this completely so that way you don't have to revisit it. Because the point is getting that lesson, getting that truth from that memory, so that way you can go bye-bye and you don't have to face it anymore. It no longer becomes a bad memory. So, part 2. Part 2. I forgive you. Melody, I forgive you. I forgive you for having those self-limiting beliefs. You didn't know any better. You didn't know what was to come. You were doing the best you could. You were surviving. So I forgive you for saying what you said. You know, again, if it's a third party that you need to forgive, then you say, I'm so sorry, so-and-so. And your brain will fill in the blanks. But there needs to be that forgiveness. Forgiveness for yourself and forgiveness for anybody else that was involved. Part 3, I thank you. And honestly, I think this is, for me, this is the most important one. I thank you. This is the part where it went from a bad memory to something you are thinking. When you are thankful for something, how can something that you're so thankful for be a bad thing? So part 3, I thank you. I thank you, Melody, for always staying in there. I thank you, so-and-so, for giving me that opportunity to learn a lesson. Be thankful for the events, for the circumstances that we were in. No matter how good or bad you think they were, they are what made you. You are the person you are today because of everything you went through. And I can tell you, we are all hella strong. I mean, we're going through a freaking pandemic. And we're all hanging in there. And yeah, it's rough sometimes, but you're strong. You are strong. Part 4, I love you. I love you, Melody. I love you for always hanging in there. No matter how much you wanted to give up, I thank you, Melody. I thank you for doing the hard things. I thank you, so-and-so, for giving me XYZ. You fill in the blank. And the beauty of these 4 parts is they're so customizable, right? You can work your magic with these 4 beautiful sentence starters for whatever memory is presented. I've been doing a lot of shadow work. And I can tell you, it's rough sometimes. Yeah, it's a little rough. But ultimately, you free yourself from those rocks that are holding you down, holding your head underwater, because we've all had those moments where it feels like, oh my gosh, we're barely surviving, we're barely keeping our heads above water. And it's because of those rocks weigh us down. So face those rocks so they no longer weigh you down. They release yourself from what's holding you back. Who knows, when you free yourself from all of those rocks, where can you go? It's a world of possibilities. Be gentle with yourself. Take your time. Go slow. Talk to yourself as if you're talking to your best friend. When you are telling yourself things, when doing shadow work, if there's something that you're like, oh, should I have said that? Ask yourself, would you tell a friend that? Going through whatever you're going through, would you tell a friend what you just told yourself? If the answer is no, then why are you telling yourself that? I know we're our worst critics, but that needs to stop. We need to be our #1 cheerleaders. And with that, I love you all. Happy shadow work. Have fun with that. Find the beauty in shadow work like I have. I promise it's worth it. But have fun.